after successful that Chandrayaan 1, every country they are saying why space is required for India. After Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3, in this world itself, they returned back and they turned and they saw our successful missions.
The amount of technology that we are using on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't even strike us as to how exactly it's working and how much of these satellites are coming into play.
Chandrayaan 3, everyone they are witnessing it, they are successfully proud it. Our technical team directly they are interacting with the students. In previously, if they ask means I want to become an engineer, I want to become a doctor. Nowadays, everyone they are saying I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a cosmonaut, space scientist, space engineer, space medicine, like that they are saying.
So is it fair to say that, coming in the coming years, because of Spacezone, India will also have a hybrid reusable rocket just like how SpaceX is offering today?
Yes, we are already working on it. Coming August 24, 2024, we are planning to launch India's first mobile launch of hybrid rocket. That hybrid rocket is reusable rocket.
I'll ask a very direct question. How big is the space business?
So overall satellite revenue in the market, it will be like 1,200 billion US dollar. For small satellite itself, it's coming as 600 billion US dollar.
India is, compared to US and Russia, is still very new in the race of space. Why are we even thinking about space as business and investment as a country when there are so many other things, so many other areas that we can invest in? Hello and welcome to another edition of ISN Podcast. I'm your host Piyush Agarwal, who likes to bring in interesting guests who can talk about topics that you are not even thinking about right now. As business owners and entrepreneurs, there are so many things we deal with every day, but we also forget that there are so many others who are doing crazy things around us. Now, what makes you an entrepreneur? It's the idea of dreaming big, right? Every time we look up in the sky, we want to touch the stars. Well, today's topic is also close to that. We want to talk about space, Space, yes, something that we have always been excited about since our childhood, but we have never thought about it as a business, or have we? Well, today, my guest is an expert on space, and I would like to have more conversation understanding what makes it a great business. So join us as we go ahead on this journey. Welcome, Anand Megalingam, for this conversation. He's the CEO of Spacezone India, and I love the fact that you are here for us to talk about space.
Sure, thank you, Piyush. Yes.
So Anand, why space? Let's start there. What made you get started there?
Okay, so actually my background, I completed in aeronautical, but I'm not having any idea about I'm going to be a part of space. Actually, I thought I'll be like a good researcher or good teacher. By one of our colleagues that we are discussing, we will simply started this company, but unexpectedly we enter into a space.
Wow. And that's how I think most entrepreneurial journeys are, right? You never know what takes you where. You're just taking one step at a time and, things happen. For you, space was what it was supposed to be from aeronautical engineering. I mean, it is super interesting, this conversation for me, because, growing up, I wanted to be a pilot. And it was always taking flight that was super exciting for me. And this conversation is something that will make me sort of understand what is going in that area, what made you choose, and, also, nobody thinks about business when they are thinking of space, right? Of course, there are some companies doing it, but in India, there are companies doing it. This is a very rare conversation. So super excited for you to be here.
Sure.
So let's start with a very, very simple question. You mentioned that you are an aeronautical engineer and you just stumbled upon this somehow. Just walk us through the journey as to what exactly happened and how and when did Spacezone come into existence?
So 2018, so I worked as a junior research fellow.
Mm-hmm.
So on the time I'm discussing with my colleague to start a company, it's called like a Spacezone India. We selected that name, we selected the branding, that logos, that entire things. But we are not good in do a business, right?
Right.
We are the professional. It will be like a teaching. We have experience and we have researchers. We can make a research journal publications. That is our main motto in our college days after completing and joining as a junior research fellow. Then after that, what is the thing means like 2018, June 23rd. So we launched 5 femto satellites through a high altitude scientific balloon and 3 femto satellites from rocket. It's launched happened in NASA.
Oh.
So on the time, what it happened means they selected our satellite and they successfully launched it. So then later, what we are thinking means why we are going for NASA? Why we can't able to create here itself in India? So then we will plan it to make this type of opportunity. We will give it to all the students across India.
Wow.
So for that we discussed and we created to launch 100 femto satellites through high altitude scientific balloon. So that mission that we planned to launch it from Rameshwaram.
Okay.
So for that every critical design report that I completed. But in finally we are stuck in that financial sections. So for that I spoke with one of our colleague name it's John Paul Praveen. He is from Martin Group. They funded for the project and successfully launched it. Almost they sponsored for 1,347 school students across India. From Spacezone India, we have a good technical team and good teachers also in our academy we are having. So everyone they are flying from Chennai to every locations across India. We are providing a training how to learn how to build a satellites, how to integrate it, what are the payloads that we want to choose it, how to make a coding. So everything after a hands-on experience, we return back and we successfully launched through a high-altitude scientific balloon from Rameshwaram. It's happened in February 7, 2021. But when we registered our company, it's in December 1, 2020. Within a short duration, we achieved that missions and we received appreciation from our Honorable Prime Minister of India.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And especially, I love the fact that you are taking space, the idea of technology behind space to school children. Back in our school days, all we have done is, build those rockets and dream about sending it to space. But we have never had actually people who understand the industry, understand that technology to come to our schools and teach us. I can already imagine how these kids will be super excited. But tell me this, India is compared to a lot of our other contemporaries like US and Russia, is still very new in the race of space, right? Why are we even thinking about space as business and investment as a country when there are so many other things, so many other areas that we can invest in?
So because in India, everyone they're having like a relative field, like a civil engineers are there, electrical engineers are there, medical fields are there. But there is a shortage of a space scientist in our India. So because like every countries like NASA and European space agencies, including like a SpaceX, everyone they are a space scientist. They created the team in this country itself. There is a separate curriculum for, to be a part of a space scientist. Astronaut training also they are providing. But in our India now only we gradually we are increasing. So our Indian government also, space also it's main to us, because everyone they are saying I'm going to reach a moon, I'm going to reach the Mars, I'm going to do a research on Jupiter, like that. So that type of spirit and that type of company we have to create in our India. So like that our government is supported to make a space business. So that's what in our Indian government they created in space to promote entrepreneur from space technology. So we are also part of space technology who's registered in space, and we created a researcher and we launching a rocket technology and satellite technology. They're supporting a lot, and many of the investors they are ready to invest in space technology, because in future is space. Because you just imagine now we are having a conversation through a meet. So for that we need a internet facility. You just imagine without satellite we cannot able to connect like this. We cannot able to speak with a mobile phone. In a bank server also is there. Without the internet we cannot able to work it. So without space we cannot able to serve it. So future is very space only.
Well put, Anand. I mean, yeah, I think many of the times when the amount of technology that we are using on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't even strike us as to how exactly it's working and how much of these satellites are coming into play, even in terms of weather prediction, how agriculture is doing, so a lot of times I think when people think of space, the only two things they think about is either, travel to space because suddenly that's become cool, or they're thinking of satellites for military purposes and just for checking things if everything is fine. But nobody is thinking that actually they are using technology every day which is enabled by space tech, right?
Yes, right.
So tell me this. I mean, Chandrayaan 3 obviously made space cool again for Indians, and now a lot of, I think, Indian kids are dreaming about space tech. Is that a fair assumption now that you go to school and when you talk about rockets and space? Is that the excitement you see in the little ones?
Yeah, we will go with like a Chandrayaan 1. So that then only that the story it will fulfill.
Absolutely.
So in a Chandrayaan 1, that project mission director is a Padma Shri Mailuswamy Annadurai sir. he is a chief mentor for our company.
Hmm.
So when he is working on the Chandrayaan 1 and many of the countries, including our Indian peoples also, they told why they are doing for moon, research on moon.
Hmm.
Because like we are living in a earth, you have to spend some money to our earth. Then only we can promote and we can survey like that they are saying. And after successful that the Chandrayaan 1, every countries, they are saying why space is required for India. First, you just take care about your necessary things like daily surveillance. You just make it out like that. They announced it.
Right.
After Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3, in this world itself, they returned back and they turned and they saw our successful missions. Including, if you see, it means in across India, all the persons in a telecast, live telecast itself, they are
Hmm.
seeing it. Wow, that Chandrayaan mission is going to success or not? What is going to happen? So the entire team they focused. So in Chandrayaan 1, it's not happened like that. Since some of the channels like Podige channel is there, some of the news channel they covered it. But in a Chandrayaan 3 world itself, they turn it.
Right.
So like that space boom, it's keep on increasing in our India. So you just think it's Chandrayaan 1 almost, we are also students on that time. But we are also didn't see about, we don't know about this type of activities. In Chandrayaan 3, nowadays kids everywhere they're using like a social media, they're having access. Everyone they're checking in Google what had happened in India, what is the trends now it's in India like that.
Hmm.
So Chandrayaan 3, everyone they are witnessing it, they are successfully proud. In many of these colleges, they started creating for aerospace engineer, and they are also opening it for like a space technology courses they are offering.
Hmm.
So like every children they have to be a part of the space missions, because like we are also planning to launch another rocket. So for that our technical team they are getting some principals, they connected with the principals and they enter to the schools and directly they are interacting with the students. So what's the students point of view means, in previously if they ask means I want to become an engineer, I want to become a MBBS doctor. So they are saying like that. Nowadays, everyone they are saying, I want to be a astronaut, I want to be a cosmonaut,
Wow.
I want to be a space scientist, space engineer, space medicine. Like that, they are saying. Yes.
Which is amazing because it's definitely taking the country also one step forward. Like you said, Chandrayaan 3 got international attention. It got obviously the country's attention, and suddenly we could see that what a big achievement it was and what a proud moment it was for all of us. And it's also interesting that someone like you saw that also as an opportunity to in future to go ahead and start something like Space Zone India. So
Yeah.
initially, you had mentioned something about the high altitude balloons to launch satellites. Can you talk a little bit more about that? What is it compared to the rockets that we imagine for launches, and how is it more beneficial and useful for us than something else which is already out there?
Yes, because like nowadays, every students they are working in some type of payloads or research. They want to be make some research in space activities. So you
Hmm.
just imagine you are a common people. You want to send some satellite to a space means it's not possible. It is possible because you want to make it. You have to invest a time and you have to invest lots of money. It's going to take a lots of time. So nowadays, what we are doing means we are creating some of the opportunity to students. We have like a different types of femto satellites, pico satellites, cube satellites, nano satellites that are entire teams they are working on it. That femto satellites, it will be like a small type of cube. Its weight less than 50 gram. It will be there.
Oh, okay.
So that cube, it's going to detect about the radiation percentage. Cosmic radiations we can detect, air quality, temperature, humidity, pressure, everything we can detect it. That experiments we can launch it through a high altitude scientific balloon. So that balloon we can fill it with like a helium gases. When we are going to launch up to like a 35-kilometer means accordingly we have to select the balloon, we have to fill the helium gases, we have to maintain the weight of that overall satellite, how much things. So it will launch, it means it's going to move up to like a 35-kilometer altitude. Then after that, that balloon it's got burst. The satellite is connected with the parachutes.
Okay.
Then by using a wind speed and a wind drift, it will enter to our earth atmosphere. We can retrieve it. So these type of activities, it is suitable for school students, because you just imagine everyone in my school days, I want to be a part of some of the competition means I'm participated in many competition, but everything is related to the drawing competitions. So this time we created this type of a space competitions like a balloon satellites. So they have some motivated. They want to become a scientist. In we can create some of the skills to them.
Absolutely. And I think the concepts of space tech, which is, thrust and rising, and and the technology behind the satellites, they can, if I'm not wrong, they can completely understand through these modules of education, and they can in future implement those fundamentals to actual, or rocket launches, or their career also, if they want to pursue space tech.
Yes, yes.
Is that
Because
fair?
yes, yes. Because I started with this balloon satellite only. This is our first
Hmm.
mission successfully completed. So after that one, many of the person they are asking like, sir, what is our next project? You successfully launched a balloon mission. That balloon that I launched it from Rameshwaram, but I retrieved in Tuticorin, almost 250 kilometers far away.
Wow.
I launched it one location. I retrieved the satellite in another locations. So too much distance. So after completing that one, everyone they're asking what is your next mission like that.
Hmm.
So after that we are planning it because balloon is a first level. Because if we are playing some games means we need like a upgraded versions one. This is a game level 1, level 2, level 3 like that.
Hmm.
So that's like that I splitted and the balloon satellite it's completed. The next level it will be like a rocket that we chose it.
Nice.
So we are promoting that rocket technology. We are giving a training to students on rocket and successfully launched India's first hybrid rocket in first attempt itself.
Wow.
It's happened in the last year, February 19, 2023.
So is it fair to say that, coming in the coming years, because of Space Zone, India will also have a hybrid reusable rocket, just like how SpaceX is offering today?
Yes, yes, we are already working on it. Coming August 24, 2024, we are planning to launch India's first mobile launch of hybrid rocket. That hybrid rocket is reusable rocket.
Oh, wow.
It's going to happen in Chennai, Tiruvadandai.
Oh, so I was talking about years. You're talking about days when we will have the technology available. So can you tell us a little bit more about the test, and where we are at this point, and as a country, how do you see this helping us in the space race?
Okay, okay. If nowadays, like everyone, they are focusing in the small satellites only. Just to think it out, we have like a large satellite. I will show some of the. This is you just imagine. This is a communication satellite, right? For example, this overall weight is going to come 1,000 kg.
Mhm.
So these satellites we want to put it into orbit means that perfect altitude it will be like a 35,600 kilometer altitude. That is geostationary orbit.
Yeah.
There only we can place this type of large satellite. Now what it happened means every scientist they are focusing in a small satellites. So we don't want to go for large satellites. Only small satellite it's sufficient because that weight also it's very less. It's more complicated compared to large satellite is more complicated compared to like a small satellites. So everyone they don't want to take any risk. They are focusing in a small satellites. After putting in a 35,000 kilometer that large satellite, in case any failure it happened means total investment money it's totally lost it.
Hmm.
We cannot be able to get any output from that satellite. If we use small satellite, that altitude it's required only 500 kilometer to 700 kilometer it's sufficient. We don't want to go for 35,000 kilometer. Same operation only it's going to do it. Size I'm going to reduce it. So cost of the operation also it will be reduced. So this is what like everyone turn it into a small satellites. Our space zone India also we are having a different series. We are working in a different series of rocket. Rumi H is there, Rumi 1, Rumi 2, Rumi 3. So totally we are having a 4 series. Rumi H last year successfully we launched it. That proven technology, that hybrid rocket, it's going to carry almost like a 10 kg of a satellite.
Okay.
So this time in the coming August 24, we are planning to launch. It's going to carry like a 50 Pico satellites and 3 Cube satellites, and also that rocket is fully reusable. That entire technology, reusable technology, we are working on it. Yes. So like that, we have a different series of rockets. So what are the size you are having? Small size, up almost like less than 50 gram. I have a rocket. We can put it into a orbit. If we have large satellites or smaller satellites weight up to like 100 kg, that also we have a launch vehicles. That also we will put it into a 700 kilometer altitude. So like that, we have a different series of rocket.
Amazing, amazing. And if I'm trying to also understand the business side of what makes sense in what you're doing. If I correct me wherever I'm wrong, but my business mind is telling me that by reducing the weight of the payloads and also having a reusable rocket, we will be able to launch the satellites in the orbit faster, and thus be able to get more business from other countries to launch their satellites because we are cheaper, affordable, and faster. Is that a fair way of looking at it?
Yes, right, exactly. because in a launch vehicle, once we are reuse that rocket, means that cost of material it's going to reduce it rocket, because we retrieve that rocket, we are going to refurbish and we can reuse that materials. And also I'm using
Mm.
like a hybrid propulsion system, and we are reuse that rocket. So that satellite cost per kg we are charging like a 15 lakhs in a global market, means I can give it up to like a 7.5 lakhs per kg we can charge it. So that cost of launching cost also I'm going to reduce it. So this will be like a more business opportunity, because in every countries there are also many researchers, many scientists, they are having a different types of satellites. Everyone they are focusing ISRO, not even they are going to NASA, they are
Mm.
coming to India, they are launching from ISRO itself. Recently we signed a MOU with one of the edutech for space Dubai based company. They are the manufacturer of satellite. So once we are going for in the commercial activities, it's going to happen in 2026. On the time we are going to keep 5 Pico satellites of edutech for space Dubai based company, that we are going to put it into a orbit.
Wow. So, how is Space Zone working along with ISRO, or is it completely independent and there's no relation at all?
Actually, like it's totally independent. We don't have any relations. But ISRO farmer scientist, we they are mentor for our space zone India. Like Padmashri Mileswamy Annadurai sir is there, Ranganathan Varadappan sir is there. They are the retired scientists from ISRO.
Okay.
Now they are supporting us to be in space technology. These are all those things. Once we are going for a rocket launch, we have to get authorization from ISRO.
Mhm.
So we have to provide all the technical data and the technical documents. We have to provide the trajectory plan, how, what is the propulsion system that we are using, how we are going to maintain it, what's the center of pressure value, center of gravity, when it's going to change it, every technical details we have to submit to ISRO.
Mm.
Then after that we have a review meeting with them, and they will ask lots of questions. We have to update to them, and we have to clearly explain about the project. Once is that, they can provide authorizations. Once the authorization received, we will go for a rocket launch.
Got it, got it. So there are a lot of steps involved where you will need different help, help at different stages from different experts. To put it simply, I think just like how NASA exists and SpaceX exists today as two different entities, obviously there are overlaps in how they do and what work they do, because it's still whatever money and whatever technology they are building is sort of helping a country like US progress further and step further. Similarly, Space Zone and ISRO are working in a space which will help India sort of move closer and grow. What I love about what we are talking is that it's almost like we are creating a new vertical of revenue generation for the country, which will in future help our GDP.
Yes, yes, sir. Because everyone in a space technology, we want to increase the GDP, means in our India, everyone they are focusing like space technology only. So in a previously, if you ask, means in India we don't have any policy. Indian space policy
Mm.
we don't have it. Now we have our Indian space policy. At the same time, we have only Sri Harikota. It's a launch pad for our India. Now, like Tamil Nadu government and ISRO, they signed a MOU, and they are going to establish like another spaceport. It's going to happen in Kulasegarapattinam, Tamil Nadu. It'll be like 1,500 acres. If you have like a private parties who's working in a satellite technology and rocket technology, they can bring that rocket and they can launch it from Kulasegarapattinam itself. Once we started these things, means automatically our GDP is going to increase it, because like starting almost like a 5 or 6 space companies are there. Now almost like a 500 plus space companies are there in satellite technology. Almost now also 100 plus startup like entrepreneurship they created, they are working in a rocket technology also. Yes.
Lovely, lovely. I'll just backtrack a little bit. We spoke about, how your first test last year was successful at the first attempt itself. Would you be able to talk about, what it means to be successful in this kind of a launch, and how frequently, failures can happen, and what it means to sort of having a launch fail, both from obviously the work that's gone in and from a business perspective.
Okay. So when we are working on this hybrid propulsion system, first we completed that design process. How our the rocket it will be like that, and where's will be like a propulsion system. Where's that outer ring that I'm going to make it. So entire things that we prepared, designed successfully. Once everything is a failure, then only we can success it, right?
Mm.
Like that only we started, and in the combustion chamber that we first focused that hybrid propulsion system. Then after that we are working on it. The testing is going to happen. First I prepared with a leak test in tank that we prepared manufactured. We want to go for a leak test, how much that there is any leak or not, like that. Then after that there is a no leak, then identified leak, and next we proceed with a pressure leak. We have to pack maximum like a bar pressure, almost like a 60 bar pressure we stored into the chamber. How much pressure it's going to withstand, like that entire thing that we measured. Then after that finally we entered into a propulsion static test. So there is a tank, and the tank is attached with the propulsion system. We've set up that everything. Now that rocket thrust is going to produce it. That combustion test, that static test that we initiated. Once what it happened means it's producing the thrust, but it's not sufficient to lift off and take off our rocket. So reiterated, and we changed that orifice of our injector. So entirely we rebuilt the structures, we redesigned it and rebuilt it. Then finally when we are going for our testing, it's producing a maximum thrust that unexpectedly it happened to us
Okay.
to lift off our rocket. So this is a first successful. Then after that we have to work on that ignition system test that we want to do it, because everything it will be like a wireless. Our rocket we are going to keep it in a 200-meter far away from us, our control room. In this control room itself we are going to pass it, and we are going to provide the ignitions.
Mm.
So everything is going to happen to us. For that every ignition test is also that we succeed. But what unexpectedly it happened means everything that we tested in our in-house itself and nearby areas only, but we didn't test it in any of the coastal region.
Mm.
But we launched it's going to happen in coastal region. When we are going for the testing tomorrow morning, it will be like a rocket launch, like February 19th. 18th itself we shifted our entire setup, our rocket, everything we kept over in the ocean side.
Mm-hmm.
When we are going for a final checking, there will be like a lots of flaw that technical glitches that I received it. That a frequency we did communication frequency we lost it in final minute. Then after that technical, when we are giving a ignition system, that is also not perfectly initiated. So lots of flaw is there. Then our technical review meeting that we happened, we conducted in late night, almost like a morning 7 a.m. I have a rocket launch. That meeting is happened in midnight at 2 o'clock. We made it like what are the corrections that we want to do it, what we have to check it.
Mm.
So we made it like another calculation, these all those things. So we reduced the range from 200 meter. We have to control that rocket. We reduced the range up to like 100 meter. We closed it to the rocket, and we started, and it's finally perfected. And next day morning filling process it's going on for our rocket. Everything we put it into a stand, a launch pad. We set an angle. We go for a countdown. We initiated. We discussed with the Airport Authority of India, Air Force. We are updating to them. We are going to launch our rocket. It's going to happen in another 10 minutes. That final checking. We just imagine we are going for a rocket launch. It's a new for us for rocket. That many testers that we happened in ground itself. But that flying, when we have to check it out whether it's going to flying or not, it's going to happen in another 10 minutes. It will be there. And from our rocket launch pad to another, there is a main event is going on. Because in this rocket, we kept almost 150 Pico satellites. That who is trained from our side, we trained students. That satellite prepared, that students, they prepared a satellite. That satellites only we kept into this rocket.
Oh.
You just imagine almost one side 5,000 students, including a governor, minister, everyone, they are witnessing our rocket launch through live telecast. In this side, our technical team, we are with our rocket. So last 10 minutes more for a rocket launch, I got nervous on that time, because we don't know what to do also. Everything we count down, right? We have a display. On that side, like seconds, it's going to reduce it, keep on. So last 2 minutes is there. My I can feel my heartbeat on that time. The ocean itself, because it's more risky for us, because it's a first rocket. I have to prove the technology. So like we will go for initiated that T minus 2, like that 20, like that we informed. We passes that hybrid nitrous oxide to the chamber, and after that final countdown we initiated T minus 20. I got nervous. If you see my hand means it'll be like shivering like this, because I hold in that ignition system in my hand. I have to press it for a T minus 2. So countdown it's coming like a T minus 20. One side my heartbeat it's keep on rising, and T minus 2 I have to give a primary ignition, and T minus 1 my colleague he have to give the secondary ignition system. Once ignited, we don't know, oh God, what is going to happen like that. Then finally that thrust it's come outside and rocket it's released from the launch rail. Then only we feel happy on that time,
Wow.
because on that time what is going to happen means our technical persons are there, another side 300 police they protected us for that safety reason. So they are also seeing our ADSP is there, additional deputy superintendent of police sir also, he is there. He is also checking, Thambi everything is okay va, Thambi everything is okay va? You need any support in last minute he is asking, because everyone they are that much interest, they got nerves, because like what is going to happen.
Mm.
This is the first technology when we are going for a rocket launch. Everyone they have night, because like this is the first technology. Till now they didn't launch any rocket. This is the first attempt. What it's going to happen like that. But anyway, like our technical team, our entire team, their support, we finally proven we launched India's first hybrid rocket in first attempt itself.
Wow. That sounds like a proper blockbuster movie. Like while you were narrating, only my heart started beating faster, and I don't know what would have happened in real time. And I can totally imagine and how your company brought everybody together. We're talking about students, we're talking about the police force, we're talking about scientists, we're talking about researchers, we're talking about everybody. So in that moment, I'm sure everybody wanted just the rocket to do well, and that's quite a testament of building a business that everybody wants to succeed.
Yes.
So clearly, it's obviously it's the hard work that you and your team put in way before the launch. It's not like you just directly go for launch. There's so many tests that you had to do because there's so many points of failure.
Yeah.
And that's what is amazing, and that's what really gives me the jitters also, that you are considering space as a business when most entrepreneurs already think of generating money in the first month of their business. You are in a space where you have to spend years of research,
Mm.
so much work to even get up to a point where you can say, okay, we are at a point now that we can consider our company has a product, we are successful, and now we can think of generating money, right?
Yes.
Like, you're talking about 2026, that also I'm guessing is a projection, so based on how things are going. But the space has so many factors which you have not accounted for or accounted for. How do you even make sure that you are one running the business from day one, every day getting up and telling yourself that yes, the business is doing well and I need to continue on this, and also keeping your investors, your supporters at bay, and making sure their confidence doesn't go down? How does the motivation stay?
So actually, what is the thing means like when I'm starting this company, I got nervous because I'm zero knowledge in business. I don't have any
Right.
idea, right? I started like that. I don't know what to do like that. And after launching that 100 femto satellites, that successful missions, we tie up with the American India Foundations. They itself asking you are doing a wonderful activities for school education, space technology. So we need this type of requirements like that. They told in learning and development. So for that, we one project called a drone and a satellite launch vehicle missions. So after launching that high altitude scientific balloon, there is a satellite, there is a drone. That satellite we are going to keep under the drone, and we are can maneuver some distance, like 30-meter altitude, like that we can fly it, and we can detect the data of air quality, temperature, radiation level, these
Hmm.
all those things. That itself
Hmm.
students they made it, and they are saying, wow, I succeed that missions, I successfully completed that satellite training. Everyone they are saying that mission is sponsored by IBM company on the time, CSR funds. So when
Okay.
I meet that person is saying he is a small boy. How we can able to make it? How you gave the order to them like that? And finally they are raising a question. I don't know what to do, sir. I have already have experienced these things. Who chose you like that? In front of me, they asked, like a one
Oh,
of the
okay.
persons, like, sir, I will succeed. Okay, we will see. We will see. We don't have any other options because day after tomorrow we have a launch day. We will see it like
Hmm.
that. They told after the successful mission, that same company they gave for 5 locations, 5 different states. I
Wow.
covered it that same project. So after completing
So
that project,
basically,
yes,
so basically, these are smaller projects that is also bringing in some money, some funds for the
yes,
company.
Yes.
and also building the confidence in the people around you that you have the technology, the expertise to be able to execute the larger vision.
Yes, yes. So I tie up with the different types of companies like this, like a corporate CSR funds, who are all supporting, because I have to prove that lots of projects that I completed for bigger company.
Hmm.
So then only I can go for investors, and I'm approaching. Okay, I'm this company is generating revenue like that. So what till now it's happened means I'm generating revenue from learning and development. So this type of projects. So that profitable fund is there, right? That funds that I'm utilizing for our rocket research and development.
Amazing.
Then I'm getting support from some of the CSR funds like Martin Group. They're also providing some contribution for school educations. So these are the things like that we are day to day life that we are making, and we connected with lots of persons. So who's are all in a bigger level, right? Like a bigger post, like a DGP is the Director General of Police. So they are also one of our mentor for our company. And Padma Shri Mileswamy Annaduri sir is there. So like that, who's having experience in DRDO, ISRO, everything. We are connecting, we are explaining about our upcoming missions, what we succeed till now. Then we are getting like we are onboard that persons to our company. So by making like this, our company it's making like and growing like a bigger and a stronger by stronger day by day. It's increasing. So
So
like
tell me this.
that,
I'll ask a very direct question. How big is the space business? Like, do you have a number that we can put on it and say that okay, this is the size we are looking at?
so almost like overall satellite revenue in the market, it will be like a thousand two hundred billion US dollar.
Wow.
For small satellite itself, it's coming a 600 billion US dollar. That is a space market up to like a 2032. It's going to increase it.
Wow. And India is one of the only four players in the market today, or do you think there are more that are coming up?
So till now, like four persons are there. First, ISRO, obviously ISRO, we cannot able to say it.
Right.
Then after that, Skyroot, they launched a solid propulsion rocket. They are the first private parties. And second, our Spacezone India, who's launched India's first hybrid rocket. We are the second private company launched that rocket. And the third, Agnikul are there. They are working in a liquid propulsion system. They also successfully made it. And again, like another launches also, every companies they are there. I know like four players are there. Some more players also they are making research.
And because the space, like you said, is so big and there's so much potential in it, we do see more entrepreneurs also in future taking on challenges and solving maybe specific areas in the niche of space tech and providing solutions, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So
Amazing. So I'll just add one more thing before we move forward. So tell me this. I mean, Space Zone India today has basically two ways of revenue generation that you're looking at. One is obviously the educational initiatives, which is great because it's also building the future leaders in the space. And two, your own research and development, which will help you create the commercial launch and commercial product offerings for your company. How do you see these two working in the future as well along, or do you see that the education initiatives are just for now to keep the money rolling, and in future I don't see it happening, or do you see both running in parallel?
So in a Space Zone India, we are having two verticals. One is for learning and development, and another one is rocket research and development. In learning and development, we have this type of space activities like satellite training, rocket manufacturing, how to design a rocket, satellite. That any things we are promoting in the learning and development. In Space Zone, another wing it's a rocket. In this rocket, we are going to be a manufacturer of rocket and the satellite is all those things. You just imagine, so many of the teachers are there in our India, many of the professors are there.
Mm.
So everyone they will explain about like a theoretically, they will read the books and they will explain about things, and some of the person who's already have a experience, they will explain about that past experience, work experience, how to integrate this, all those things. In our Space Zone India, we have a separate wings of our rocket manufacturing. We know that exactly what is going to happen, because privately we are manufacturing a rocket.
Mm.
So we know the what are the process, what is that combustion chamber dia, what is the holes that we are making, what is the orifice dia that I'm using, which type of propulsion system, how we are going for injectors. So lots of technicals that we only know because we have a experience on that. So like similarly, who's having experience in our teams, we have a teaching facilities also. So we will explain to our teaching staffs to them, they will explain to our students.
Hmm.
You just imagine, without any knowledge, we have experience in this technology. At the same time, we have a video proof also, animation videos, how that the combustion chamber is going to work, it avionics system, how it's going to activate it. So how we are going to make a coding like this, 200 plus animation videos that we created in the space technology itself. So this knowledge, everything we are providing to students means they can grow a lot. In future, they will be like a big space scientist, and there will be a good researcher in space scientist, and there will be like a good engineer in space technology. So we can promote like that. So in the future also, we have like two wings. So one is for learning and development, and another one is a rocket. Simultaneously, we will enter it.
Amazing. And you are basically training your future employees. You're saying, we are already putting putting the seed there so that it grows into a tree, and they are there and they join Space Zone in the future to be able to continue their
Yes,
dreams of space scientists. Great. I think
right.
that kind of a long-term vision is something that is really rare but important in an entrepreneur to have. And it's really great to see that happening. For all the entrepreneurs who are listening to us right now, I think this is a point of motivation because often in the world we are living in, because we want results faster, right? Because we are always running after profits, we are always running after showing value, and we want to do that in as little time as possible. We often forget that what was our long term vision? Why did we even start this business? What motivated us to get started and be in the space? And I think what you are saying is great, that we are actually building a business that is not for the next couple of years or next 5 years or next 10 years. We're actually building a business for future and for future generations.
Yes.
Any words of motivation that you can pass on for our listeners on the same lines?
So actually, like what you are thinking, you just do it. Many of the person, they will come and they will say, you just don't do it. This is a waste of time, like that. If you are a passion, your technology, you love that business, you just do it. What are the struggles and what are the hurdles that you are having? You just cross it. You just interestly and sincerely, if you do it, means you will achieve the world.
Amazing. And you don't have to have the plan or everything planned from day one, right? I'm sure you are also figuring out a lot of these things as you go on. Like, you did not have the learning initiatives, everything as your business plan from day one. It's something that's falling into place as you keep going.
Okay. So actually, like a business plan, I didn't go for it. The first mission, it will be like a launching of that 100 satellites. After that one opportunity that I received it.
Hmm.
So like IBM CSR funds, once that project is completed, I made it for like a HCL project that I did it, and Sterlite Technologies, Mastercard. So this type of company projects, I approached them. I tied with the foundations.
Hmm.
With that support, we are setting a space lab. So everything, it's unplanned. I focused only our visions, what we are doing. So inside, what are the opportunities I'm receiving it, I'm used to that opportunity.
Great.
So like that only, till now it's moving on. I didn't plan it for tomorrow. So I planned for our mission.
Hmm.
So what I'm going to be launch it in future. Only that vision that I planned it. So accordingly, God's grace, everything it's coming perfectly in a right way and right time.
Touch wood, and that's great. And I really like the fact that you're saying, keep your eye on the prize, keep thinking about what your main mission was, what your goal was, and then on the way, whatever opportunities you get, make sure you analyze them and grab them if they are aligning with your larger goal, right?
Yes.
Great. Anand, it was lovely talking with you. I think there was so much that we learned in this short conversation. And it is so exciting to see that, how the country is growing and how we are really building a new vertical, a new revenue stream that will be, quite big in the future. Space is always exciting, and it is great to have people like you who are doing their bit to make sure we are progressing day by day.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.